Greetings, comrades. Back with a little more capital for you. Right now, we're going to tackle chapter 32. That is the second to last chapter of Capital. It is titled Historical Tendency of Capitalist Accumulation. We're talking about private property here. So we know that private property is, there goes my glasses. Private property is the means of production. It is the antithesis, the opposite of social property. That means that your boss owns all of your tools, you don't. He's talking about an individualized and scattered means of production rather than being socially concentrated, right? Self-earned private property, independent laboring individual, again, like an independent worker, somebody that makes chairs, right? Independent person that would make these things all by themselves was now supplanted by capitalistic private property. So the exploitation of the nominally free labor of others, this is where we get wage labor. Okay, so rather than the individual making the chair, we now have capitalists owning all of the tools that you need to make the chair, and then hiring wage laborers to make those chairs, generally one little piece at a time, right? Laborers become proletarians, and the means of labor become capital, okay? Centralization of capital, again, more and more sums of money, factories being owned by smaller and smaller numbers of people here, right? This is what we see happening today, right? Mergers and acquisitions. This is happening, this is starting. So we have this centralization of capital, the means of production, the money, the capital itself being held by fewer and fewer numbers of people. This growing working class, as people that used to be individual artisans, have now been proletarianized. The forces of production of the factories here and the relations of production, right, is your relation to the means of production, your relationship to the tools that you use. You're probably a wage laborer. And eventually, capitalism becomes irrational. That is mentioned here. It wasn't at this time where it was growing and developing and it was a new progressive thing. But Marx saw that at a certain point in the future, maybe now, that this way of doing things, this way of organizing our means of production into smaller and smaller amounts of people that have more and more capital as individuals, that is not a sustainable way of organizing your society. And I think that we really see that nowadays as all of the little cracks in the facade of capitalism are really rearing their ugly heads right now. So we're about to finish this book, y'all. We have one more chapter to go, so stay tuned for that. Cheers.